with our crypto updates. Let me just get everything kind of into position here. Trying to get you your daily quick update of news on Bitcoin. So let's get right into it. Our head story is Bitcoin getting ready to slide. That is a question that's being posed. We'll look at that and see if that's true or not. The market capitalization from CoinGecko, we are at 2,437,000,000. So we were up a little over 0.5%. Bitcoin is doing good at 68,882, with Ethereum tagging behind at 2,524. Both of them are up for the 24-hour. Bitcoin is up for the week about 1%. Ethereum is only up for the 24-hour about 1.125. Top 10, we got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, and Tron. Coming in at 11 through 20, we got Toncoin, Cardano, Avalanche, Shiba Inu, Wealth, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, and Polkadot. Honorable mentions: Sui at 25, Near at 24, Litecoin 23, Leo 22, Polkadot, we already mentioned, at 20. So the market for the 24-hour is looking mostly up. For the 7-day, it's a mixed bag. For the month, there are a few that are up, but we are just kind of trailing sideways. So that's the way it goes. What are our price predictions? Let's get into that. Coin Codex tells us that our price prediction for 5-day, based on the calendar and the stats, should be 78,700. The 1 month should be 91,000. The 3 month should be 95,000. So we're looking at an up market. Altcoin season indicator, we have mostly a buying opportunity over here with what was an upside down head and shoulders at 29%. This could be a buying opportunity for most altcoins. We have the estimated halving time right here for you, quite a ways away. I've got to find that the other time chain calendar because I like the way it tells us how many satoshis for $1. Here's another fear and greed. It's saying I don't know if that's updated. Let me see if did I update that. Fear and greed 72. So yeah, we are in greed apparently. So that's something to consider. People are trading. All right, let's get into our news. Some of the top stories. Um, there is some Russian assets and backed loans that are $50 billion. We know that Tether is talking about all the gold, all of the U.S. stocks, all of the Bitcoin they have, trying to, um, just show their legitimacy in the market. Vanguard is selling some Bitcoin, it looks like, about 50K. And then BitGet partners with Solare to launch a CEX-based Solana liquid staking service, and Chainlink data streams now live on BNB China Layer 2. So there's some news if you're interested in that. Bitcoin technical analysis, this is kind of our lead story. It says upward momentum stays strong across the short and long-term averages. We're going to look at that. These are the top news stories on Bitcoin.com news, and these are the top stories on CoinDesk right here. Bitcoin is a lot going for it, except the persistent slide in copper gold ratio. So that we're going to dig into more as well. And also, you may have heard Donald Trump suggesting a tax-free from the federal government and going with a tariff. So that is something that may or may not be in the future. I kind of doubt it, but who knows, right? MicroStrategy's current premium relative to its Bitcoin stack is unlikely to last, according to Steno Research. We will look at that probably a little bit more as well. First, before we get into those top news stories, I want to thank you for liking and subscribing. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. It's a great way to give me a little tip. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means a lot to me. I appreciate it. All right, MicroStrategies. Let's look at that first. Their current premium relative to Bitcoin stack is unlikely to last. This is some Steno research cited here on Coinbase. A reputable author is at the end of this from Coinbase, but this article here, Will Canny, tells us that the launch of options on spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds in the USA will reduce incentives for investors who hold MicroStrategy over the ETFs, the report says. Now, when I first read this, I really thought this is BlackRock, trying to get the lion's share of ETF business and trying to kind of prevent people from buying MicroStrategy. But then again, BlackRock is a heavy holder of MicroStrategy stock. So now just remember, I'm just talking about the article here. This is not personal investment advice from me. I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not your advisor. So just use this in your research. I do hold MicroStrategy, and I have done very well with it over the last year. I'm very happy with its performance, and I don't intend on selling it through the highs and the lows that will likely come. But that's me. So you do you and I do me. MicroStrategy had almost a 300% premium to its Bitcoin holdings is unstoppable. So basically what this means is MicroStrategy has actually outperformed Bitcoin. Bitcoin's outperformed gold over 60 something percent this year, where gold is in the 50 percentile up for this year. Gold has been on a run. The report noted that in 2021, crypto bull market MicroStrategy premium hovered below 200%. MicroStrategy, MSTR, the ticker, current premium relative to its Bitcoin stack is unlikely to last, the Steno Research said in a report Friday. They said this conviction is reinforced by the diminishing effects of MicroStrategy's recent stock split, adding to the launch of options on spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds in the U.S. will also lessen motivation for investors to hold stock over these ETFs. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that, but Steno also noted the company's premium relative to its Bitcoin hoard has recently surged to almost 300%. The firm's valuation diverging significantly from a straightforward calculation of its asset and business fundamentals, the report said. Regulators become more favorable to crypto and Bitcoin, and this has a direct effect on those who choose to hold Bitcoin directly instead of MicroStrategy stock, said Steno. If Trump is reelected, this regulatory trend is expected to continue, he says. Bitcoin is expected to perform strongly over this quarter into 2025, what means even higher buying demand would be required to sustain MicroStrategy's current premium. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, MicroStrategy has a business that earns income. They are acquiring more and more Bitcoin all the time, and doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. So take that with a grain of salt. Can it dip? Certainly can. Let's take a look at one last interesting article. Kind of makes me think, when you hear negative stuff from the mainstream news, you know that you should believe just the opposite. But these are not really mainstream news places, but sometimes they quote it. Sometimes CoinDesk or Bitcoin.com will quote another article. I'm looking to see if that is the case. I'm not seeing that. Here's Omkur Godboli, who is doing this article here, and at the bottom, I believe it showed that he was writing for. Uh, Here's the disclosure. It says Coinbase award-winning media outlet that covers cryptocurrency industry. Its journals abide by strict set of editorial policies. CoinDesk has adopted a set of principles aimed at ensuring integrity, editorial independence, and freedom from bias of its publication. CoinDesk is part of a bullish group which owns and invests digital asset businesses and digital assets. CoinDesk employees, included journalists, may receive bullish group equity-based compensation. Bullish was incubated by technology investor Block One. So he's a co-managing editor with Coinbase desk team. So I'm just showing that there's some credibility here, even though I'm kind of scratching my head at this. Maybe I'm just ignorant when it comes to this, but Bitcoin has a lot going for it, except its persistent slide in copper gold ratio. The article goes on to tell us that because of China's stimulus announcement, there is negative cues to risk assets, which would be like Bitcoin, gold, things like that. And it says Bitcoin's best years have been characterized by copper's outperformance relative to gold. So I think that's interesting. You're going to look at copper's performance to gold and compare it to how Bitcoin performs. I think that's interesting. I'm not aware of this tracking strategy, and I don't know that it really means anything. But this is a reputable person, so take it with a grain of salt. Do your research, and you think I'd love to hear what you think. Um, it says the increasing probability of pro-crypto Republican candidate Donald Trump winning the U.S. election and the expectation for Fed rate cuts. Bitcoin bulls have several things to cheer about. However, the widely tracked copper to gold ratio continues to slide, flashing a red signal for risk assets, including cryptocurrencies. The ratio, which represents a division of price per pound of copper per price per ounce of gold, has hit a fresh year-to-date low, reaching the levels seen in late 2020, according to data source TradingView. The metric, considered a proxy for global economic health and investor risk appetite, has dropped over 15%, the biggest loss since 2018. Well, when I look back at Bitcoin from 2020 to now, I don't remember what year was the up year and down year, but overall, if you'd been in Bitcoin, I was in Bitcoin since 2017, pretty heavy. So I see it just as up. I see years that are down, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you take the gold ratio to silver increase over the last 5 years, Bitcoin has performed much better. Tell sign of economic malice. What's probably more concerning is the ratio has declined by 10% since China, the world factory and large importer of commodities, unveiled the start of the stimulus measures in late September to support its ailing economy. The U.S. Federal Reserve delivered an outsized 50 basis point of interest rate cut in September, supposedly kick off the so-called liquidity easing. However, that too failed to put a floor under the ratio. The persistent slide could be a telltale sign of grittier economic picture that risk assets are probably overlooking. Copper, being the industrial metal, tends to do well when the global economy is expanding. Historically retracted positively to China's stimulus announcement. Gold, meanwhile, is considered a safe haven. Hence, a falling to copper gold is widely seen as a risk-off signal. So, okay, I get the fact that assets they think are going to drop, but the M1 money supply is way up. And we will look at the M1 money supply hopefully tomorrow. We will check that out, see if we can do some a little bit deeper dive on that for a couple minutes. But that is going up, and that's typically which makes assets, at least for a while, makes assets go up, because all of this more money being pumped in the economy is going to end up going somewhere. It typically goes into good assets. So I see it just the opposite. But again, not financial advice. Check it out, see what you think. They talk about the Bitcoin slide and the risk of it going to back to another slide. They show that this chart right here, and looking at the candles, and yeah, they show copper dropping here, copper to gold ratio dropping. It looks like Bitcoin's climbing in these charts. So yeah, I'm not quite convinced that that's going to affect Bitcoin in a super negative way, but it is something to look at. I know assets can seem to go down, but really the overall stronger indicator, I believe, has been the M1 global money supply. So that is it. If you want the document for safety, you can email me at bitcoincryptonewsonline@gmail.com. And until tomorrow, have a good one. Bye. We are out.